have the great privilege and honor of introducing our guest speaker tonight. Just a little bit of information. I'm very, very happy to meet this gentleman. He works at the detention center over in Marion County. And for years, I have worked at the Marion Adjustment Center, which is the prison over there. We're involved in a program that deals with the results of the drug and alcohol. We see the lives that have been destroyed by this. But we get to work in a program that helps restore and return these lives back to some kind of normalcy, we hope. They get to go back and kind of start over. Brandon Wilson is what's called the SAP director. That stands for Substance Abuse Program. It's an awesome program that they have, and it deals with all the different aspects of the lives that these gentlemen have left behind and the one that they'll be going back to. He's been working in the counseling field for nearly 4 years now. He earned a BA in psychology from St. Catherine College in 2009. Prior to entering the counseling field, Brandon worked for Ford Motor Company. He has been very active in his community by serving on the Democratic Executive Committee for Washington County. He's been PTO president and vice president and chair of the budget committee for St. Dominic's Catholic School. I'm sorry. I told you I was going to mess this up, didn't I? Brandon also finds time to coach for the Blake Hoppus Football League, the Upward Basketball, and the Washington County Little League Basketball. Brandon is happily married to Nicole Smith Wilson, and I thought I saw her here. She's in the very back. There she is with the little ones. All right. They have 4 wonderful children. Logan, who is 10. Andrew, who is 7. Allie is 2. And little Lydia is only 8 weeks old. How precious. Anyway, it is a great honor to have him here with us, and he's going to tell you more about what he does and the lives that he's touched. Brandon, you want to come on up?
First of all, I would like to give praise to the Washington County youth for challenging the drug abuse and the underage drinking and the violence that has crippled our society in general. I see this every day in my occupation. I see this, and in a lot of times when I talk to the guys that are in my program, some of the answers that I get are frightening. I ask them, what's the first time of usage of alcohol? What is first time of usage of drugs? And the average age that I get is around 9 years old. That when I first came into the field, I thought I knew a lot about society and a lot about things that was going on, but 9 years old is awful early, and that's the average. I mean, there's been some that say they were given bourbon or something in their bottle at 2 and 3, and this cycle has gone on and on. So I just want to give praise to you all, the youth that have stood up, and the change that we can make needs to happen with you all. That's where it's at. I tell my guys right now, I'm going to try to do everything that I can for you while you're here. But when you go back home and you have children, the change needs to happen there. You need to break that cycle there, because it has been a long time of this cycle. With that said, I'll kind of tell you exactly, what we do and where the state is on the programming that we have started to do with substance abuse. I'm the program director for SAP, which is Substance Abuse Programs. We have 3 different programs at the Marion County Detention Center. We have 2 programs that are 90 days in length. That's one for females and one for males, and they are called our LIB program, and that is a Living in Balance program. These programs are established for an inmate that may not have an intensive criminal record. They may not have an intensive alcohol or drug addiction problem, we're trying to get a hold of them when they first get in to try to stop some of this or early into some of their issues. Our other program is our SAP program, and we identify ours by the term ALPHA, and that stands for Addicts Learning Productive Healthy Alternatives. The SAP programs have been around. I think the detention center has had a SAP program for 10 years. I've been with it for 4 years, and in that time we have graduated several guys. Our program consists of a therapeutic community model. That model is established to have these clients that we treat to interact every day with peers in their program, guards at the facility, counselors, their family on telephone, on visit, the jailer, whoever comes in contact with these inmates that are in the program. I like to call them clients. They are separated from the jail. They are in one entity by themselves, and we do that so they can have their family together with what they're trying to accomplish, one goal together. And every interaction that they may have should be a positive interaction. Everything that they do, how they serve their trades, they should sit down and eat one meal together as a family. These role plays that you all had up here, we do that 3-4 times a week, and that established some of the responsibility and accountability for some of the people that they have never had. They have never had this structure in their life. So what we do, we try to reestablish that structure. And I tell them, this is baby steps that we're taking. We take baby steps through this thing. Your real test is when you get out. And we have a program established when they leave. When they leave our program, a majority of them will go home. 90-some% of them will go back home. So with that, most of them will be on parole. There's a person in place at the parole office called a social service clinician that will oversee their aftercare. So we don't just say, Billy Bob, you've done a great job in the 6 months that you're here. Here's your certificate. Here's your coin. Hopefully everything goes good. We don't do that. What we do, we fill out aftercare recommendations and turn this over to their parole officer. And they will initiate what type of aftercare this individual may need in their area that they're going back to. So this is a combined work effort that the state of Kentucky is doing to try to help these inmates get back out into society and be positive once again. To turn their life over for a new way of life. And that's some of the things that I do in my program, and we have, I think we have the state of Kentucky has 4,000 beds across the state for SAP. I think there's around 4,000 beds. I think there's 16 jails, 9 prisons, 11 halfway house programs, 10 Kentucky recovery centers that all offer SAP. And they all the SAP programs follow this therapeutic community model. And when they come into the program, they understand that I have to start becoming responsible by seeing the peers that have been in the program prior. They learn from other peers that I have to gain this responsibility, accountability. I have to gain this. And it's the peer involvement. It's so good to sit here and see the coalition come together and the youth stand up, and you guys are working together as a team to fight this. Now, some of a little bit of my bio there that was given said that I was employed by Ford Motor Company prior to going into the counseling field. I worked at Ford for almost 10 years. And during that time, I appreciate what Ford gave us, and I had a job, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that made a difference. So I went to St. Catherine and I got involved in the psychology field. And once I got involved in psychology, I found addiction counseling to be my trait, of what I wanted to do. Why? Because I've dealt with it. Not myself, but within my family. I just lost a brother to drug overdose in the last month. And I read on some of the articles in the papers that y'all said I'm not going to be the one. I always thought to myself, I won't be the one. I won't be the family member that has to go through that. Not here. Not in these small towns. Won't happen. It does. It can affect everybody. I've had guys and ladies in our programs that have had everything, that have had a life that all of us would dream about, and be destroyed by alcohol abuse, drug abuse. They have had a life that people would, like I said, people would love to have. And then I think about it now, and at first when I was asked to speak, I was afraid. I was kind of afraid of how I would handle speaking about drug abuse and addiction and prevention and this, that, and the other after what had gone on in my family. And I was sitting there in the chair today thinking, should I even bring it up? Should I even say anything about it? Yes, I should. Because for so long, the addiction has been one of those things that people want to hide. People want to stay away from. I don't want to hear about that. We can hear about other sicknesses or other disabilities, but not addiction. We're afraid of it. We don't know all that much about it. And it not only affects the person, but it affects the family as a whole. It affects so many different people. And it has affected my family. And with that, I look and think, how can I help others in this need? I tell my wife all the time. I tell her, I said, I'm trying to get people's life back on the straight and narrow again. That's what I try to do. But I really think that we're missing the boat right now. And like you said, it was a hidden thing of Washington County. I see this as being what we need to do for society as a whole. We need to understand it now. We need to be open to it. The youth need to be able to talk to their parents. Parents need to listen. They need to be involved. I'd like to end by just saying a prayer, and I don't know if anybody has heard this prayer, and I say it a lot, and I will say it up here, and if it's one thing that you take from this, take this prayer from it, and it's called the Serenity Prayer. And it goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Thank you all.